Hello, amazing artists. Today, I want to talk to you about wrapping up your ideas for your heraldry project and starting in on your final copy and maybe even your rough draft and maybe even your final copy. So we had these packets that we looked at, and they had different ideas for shield designs and ways to break up the shield and lots of symbols that could be used in your heraldry project, different helm ideas, and colors that have meanings. And we also practiced banners and flags so that we could get better at drawing things billowing in the wind. You want to narrow down your design today and get it to a rough draft state. You might have just been practicing pieces and parts, but you really need to get it to a rough draft state. Remember, you need to have 6 things, 3 of which are must-do. So you have to have a shield, and that shield has to have some kind of design on it. You have to have a banner at the bottom for your motto, and you have to have some kind of helm. It doesn't have to be a helmet. It can be a hat or something like that, but you have to have a helm. So those are your 3 must-dos. And then you can pick 3 other elements. And as you can see here, there are actually 8 elements in a traditional coat of arms that has everything. So you could add a crest, you could add a wreath, you could add the mantling, you could add supporters, you could add the compartment. Those are all options for things that you could add in to go with your 3. You have to pick 3 other things. Could you add in all 8? Absolutely, you could. But you only have to have 6 total, 3 that are required, and then 3 additional. So I went ahead and I was brainstorming and I got to my rough draft, which is right here. All right, so I picked some things that related to who I am and some things just because I like them. Like I put supporters and I picked elephants just because that's my favorite animal. I put a banner for my motto, but then I decided I actually really wanted my name to be in it. And so if you want your name to be in it, you want to add a additional banner at the top to add your name. You could end up putting your motto at the top and your name at the bottom, but one banner is going to be for your motto. So if you want to have your name in it, you're going to need 2. I split up my shield into 4 sections, and I put the heart, which represents being a first daughter. I put a book, which is because I really like to read. The B was like hardworking. I don't remember what all of my symbols meant, but when I picked them out, they were very important to me. The snake represents Coco, but also wisdom, and I really liked that one. So anyway, I added my things in. So I've got my 3 required. For my helm, I did a Dallas Cowboys helmet because I like the Dallas Cowboys. And then I added some extras. I actually ended up doing all 8 because it kept feeling not finished to me when I was adding it in. And I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna do the compartment, which is the landscaping that your supporters sit on. But then, I don't know, it just looked like it needed it. So that doesn't mean that you're gonna end up feeling that way. You might not, but that's the way I felt when I was working. I'm still not sure about that mantling, whether or not I'm gonna keep it. We'll see what happens when I move on to my final, because a rough draft, it doesn't always have to be exact. All right, so I'm gonna move on to my final paper. So this is my final paper. It's watercolor paper, so it's nice and thick. That's because we are going to paint these. All right, and I am gonna create my shield, and I'm gonna sketch very lightly because I wanna make sure that I can erase if I don't make it quite the right size or shape. All right, so here is my shield, and like, see, I kind of messed up that a little bit, so I'm working really lightly. Let's see, I know I'm gonna have my motto down here at the bottom. And I know I'm gonna have my name up here at the top. Although maybe I'm gonna run out of space for my name, we'll see. Maybe it won't work. All right, and then I've got my helm. All right, and my helm is actually gonna overlap my shield a little bit. I didn't do it like that on my rough draft, but now that I'm putting it in, I think it's gonna need it. All right, so there is my helm. And I'm just gonna very lightly sketch that in, and I can come back in and erase all of this because I did it so super lightly that it's gonna be fine. And you might be able to tell, like, things are starting to look a little bit different from my rough draft just because I have different space requirements for this one. So it's okay if it doesn't turn out exactly the way you originally did it. All right, there's my elephant. And I ended up making him a lot closer to my shield than I thought I would. So I'm gonna draw more of his body because I kind of made him like rearing up. Or her. Elephants are a matriarchal society. All right, and let's see, I definitely have to get Coco in here. So let me get my snake friend. This is gonna be right here. I don't think I'm gonna put a wreath under Coco actually. Just gonna leave it like that. It's just gonna be sitting on top of my Dallas Cowboy helmet. Oh, and I put mountains for my compartment because I just like the mountains, you know? It's really not hot there, which is the most I can say about anything, any place. It's not hot. Okay. And I'm gonna do my other elephant over here. And, you know, before I go on my final copy, I'm gonna experiment with changing my mantling to actually be a flag. Is that something I like? Having my mantling be a flag? Yeah, actually, I think I do. I think I like it. So I am gonna add in a flagpole here. There, instead of having my regular mantling, there's my flagpole, my flag, and I'm gonna do one on this side too, all right? And so now that I've got all of this roughly sketched in, then I can go back in and I can really focus on making everything look nicer and more detailed. And I can decide to change things, like maybe Coco doesn't need to curl 3 times because actually she can't do that. That's too much for her. And maybe my Dallas Cowboy helmet can be just a little bit smaller so that it doesn't overlap quite as much. All right, so, and I can make my star a little bit nicer. So you're gonna go in and you are going to really refine your quick, light sketch that you did just to make sure everything fits and you can make it look a lot nicer. All right, now to get from this point to this point, you're gonna have to come show me your rough draft so that we can talk it out and we can make sure that it looks all the ways that you want it to look. And then I will give you your final piece of paper and you can get started on your final copy for your heraldry project.